was completely impressed, and I'll just explain why. Number one, in our school system here, what we've learned and what I'm working with my colleague, Councilman Eric Golson, and we've actually put together the people's agenda. And we launched that last week where we're focused on bringing things to the community. And I even want to add, I was actually voted by my colleagues to be vice chair.
Yes,
And there we talked about how do we bring services, how do we make sure that the government works for people? And we talked about transparency in our government, providing increasing services for our residents. We talked about supporting minority-owned business, providing quality development in our community. We talked about a lot of things. But one of the things that we talked about increasing services for residents, our biggest issue is our school system, number one. And no matter what issues you talk about as you walk through the community, everyone says, what about our school system? And what we learned as we're gonna be heading into budget season next year, when we're looking at the budget, we have a $5 billion budget, 2.6 billion goes to the school system. And everyone says, well, what happens with that money? Because it's a lot of money, and we have 130-something thousand children in our school system. But the reality is that what we learned is that teachers cannot do it alone, principals cannot do it alone. It takes a village. And even when we have $2.6 billion that we put into the school system, it's still not enough. So what we need to do is find ways, how do we support our school system and make it a village to support making sure that our children succeed. And what we learned is programs like this make a difference. Because one thing is, number one, financial literacy is important. It's number one. Because the reality is that business, entrepreneurship, that's how you make money. We look at the people, and they're around my age, millennials, that are now in charge of the social media systems we have, like Facebook, Instagram, Google, all of those things. Look around you, you'd be surprised at how many, even in Prince George's County, we have major business owners who are contracts with the government, and what they are focusing is project management, financial support, STEM, all of those things. The reality is that if we don't focus our kids on things that provide them with the tools to make a difference in the future, they will not succeed. And that's why I'm fully supporting this program, because this is what we need. It's time that we start early. It's later in life to become an entrepreneur. You learn that you got to learn the tools as you're going, and it sometimes can be very difficult. But what if we start our kids early, learning how to move forward, learning how to count the money, learning how to move into areas that will actually provide them with the benefits and needs that they have to make sure that they can buy in Prince George's County and raise their children and provide for them. So I am fully supportive of this program. It is a necessity, and I'm going to make sure that we have more programs like it and make sure that we can reach more children throughout Prince George's County. Thank you.